guys, so welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. So today's video is going to be pretty much about being an emergency medical technician, and I wrote down like a list of things on my little notepad of things that I want to talk about, because yeah, this is pretty much the whole truth about being an EMT. So I'm going to start off about like how do you become an EMT and everything like that, and I'm going to be getting into the pay rate and everything, because yes, a lot of people want to know the pay rate. Like whenever, all right, let me just start talking about the whole thing first and then we get into the pay rate. Okay, so to start off, to be an EMT, you pretty much have to have your high school diploma. I believe you do. Yeah, I don't even know at this point, because I've heard that, okay, I just recently did my refresher. I've been an EMT for 3 years. When I graduated high school, the summer after I graduated high school, I became an EMT, because at that time you needed to be 18 to be an EMT. But when I did my refresher like in September, I believe, I was told that you can be 17 or 16 to be an EMT. It depends on where you're located. Okay. So it depends on like where you're located, which would determine like the age and everything like that. So I'm not really sure, but I know now in New York you can be about 16 or 17. I forgot which age it said. I believe it was 17, but I feel like it was 16, but I'm not sure. And not only can you be that age, but it really depends on like the company as well, whether they'll allow you to be EMT at that age. But you can become certified at that age in New York. Okay, so you'll need that. I know before you need a high school diploma, but if you could be 16, I feel like you don't need a high school diploma. That's just my guess from it. And you pretty much need to pretty much take a course to become an EMT, to get certified. So in the course you'll learn about everything that you need to know for like basic life support. This is beyond the whole basic life support like CPR certification. You actually need to go through a whole course, but pretty much you'll learn everything you need to know about like pretty much preserving a life in a pre-hospital setting. So you'll learn hands-on skills, you'll learn like the just academic education and everything like that within a course. Depending on where you take your course, it can be from about 8 weeks to like 6 months. Yeah, from like 8 weeks to 6 months. You can go to a college, you can go to people's specialized programs, you can take a hybrid course, whatever the case is. Okay, so that's pretty much what you need to become EMT. Now, for you to work on like the ambulance, to be honest, it is just so many ways to go around things with this thing. It's like I have to really get into different companies and different things, because some companies you can just be the driver, you don't have to be certified. But when it comes to like patient care, you don't really know much unless you have like a partner that really teach you like what to do or actually pretty much educate you. But for the most part, the driver that's not certified don't really have any liability. Then you have like, I'm so annoyed. Then you have the certified ones, and you will need a driver's license, also depending on the company, because for the companies where they have drivers that's not certified, you won't need to have your driver's license because you won't be driving. But it's other companies that require you to drive, because sometimes pretty much for the 911 part of like the company, the ones that do 911 like the city ambulance and like companies that actually partake in like the 911 side of EMS, you have to have your license, because depending on the situation, sometimes both of you will end up driving. And the company that I worked for, you had to have your license. Everybody there had to have their license, because they had this whole mid-shift driver switch, where pretty much in the middle of your tour, you and your partner have to switch. One texts, one drives. In the middle, you switch. The other one texts, the other one drives now. So it depends on which company that you're going to. You need a driver's license. Okay, so what to expect out of EMS is you gotta expect the unexpected, to be honest, because you literally could just go into anything. Regardless of what call you get, you can get a call and somebody's complaining of chest pain, somebody's complaining their finger hurt, somebody's complaining of somebody not breathing. You could get there and it could be the total opposite. So you pretty much have to expect the unexpected and expect chaos, because sometimes your patients could be cursing you out, the family could be cursing you out, the bystanders could be cursing you out, everybody could just be cursing you out. That's one thing I hate, because it's like you're trying to help somebody and you're getting cursed out, like, and then you have to keep your composure. Like, imagine going somewhere to help somebody and they're literally cursing you out, like cursing you out, and you just sitting there like, because outside of work you a whole different person, and you just gotta keep your composure, relax, and try to let them calm down. Because it's a lot of times where I go on calls, bystanders are like, hurry the fuck up. Like, what the fuck do you want me to do? Drive the car on top of this other car? Like, would it, like, seriously, it's a lot of situations where it's just like, at this point, what the fuck do you want me to do? But then you gotta sit there and take in consideration that maybe they're anxious, maybe they're so scared about what's going on. You know what I mean? They just want you to hurry up. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother time and a whole nother video, if y'all want to hear like some calls that I had where I'm getting cursed the fuck out. Whatever. But you pretty much gotta expect the unexpected, because anything, when I say literally anything can happen, and you pretty much have to be quick on your feet with like thinking. Like, it's sometimes where it's like you don't really have what you need, but you gotta improvise to make things. Like, when I tell you, if you got an ambulance, I tell you, this is one thing I always be telling people, like, you gotta be able to improvise if you want to be EMT, because you done seen people make cup holders out of splits and tape. They making handles for their AED out of a nasal cannula. Like, when I tell you, they be so creative, like, you really gotta improvise. Like, it's so many times where you really just gotta sit here and take what you have and make what you need. Like, seriously. And okay, so another thing I want to say is the perks. You do get some perks from being an EMT. Like, you may not be respected, especially from like private companies. If you're a private company, you could be driving, your lights and sirens is on, and people won't move out your way. But if a city ambulance come, FDNY, they come, people will move out their way. I mean, some people still don't respect them, but they get more respect than like the private companies. Even in the hospital, you could be sitting in the ER for 30 minutes, a fitting EMT come in there, and they already done triage, and now they sitting in the damn ambulance bay. Why are you still standing there with your goddamn patient? And sometimes, even like, alright, so my company had this side where pretty much you do 911, and 911 is pretty much on like the whole Fitney, the city's like frequency and everything, where you pretty much working under their supervisors and their bosses and everything like that. So I would be going on a call, and I get to the hospital. It's a crew, a Fitney crew. That's FDNY. FDN, let me say that because everybody don't look at it as Fitney crew. So it's a FDNY crew sitting in the ambulance bay. They're ready to triage a patient, and then you go in there, you triage your patient, you come out there, and they got damn bosses. Like I said, if the private companies are pretty much under the FDNY's supervision at that point. So those supervisors from the FDNY, they want to come here and bother you about, are you 98? 98 is available if you don't know. They want to know if you 98. Meanwhile, they got a whole fucking crew right here that been sitting here for 40 fucking minutes, and they not bothering them. Like, I hate that. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Only because you a private company. Like, they look out for their people, but they don't really care too much about you. But that's whatever's. That is whatever. But yeah, so some people are respected in EMS depending on who you are. Like, it was one time. Let me skip that part. Let me get back to this after I finish telling you the person. I'll tell you. Okay, so you can get an EMT license plate. the license plate. So when you have an EMT license plate, you don't really get pulled over that much. Like, you could be speeding or whatever the case is. The only person that will, like, NYPD that will pull you over is the ones that, I don't know, they take their job really serious. They're by the books, or they gotta stick up their ass. They'll pull you over. But for the most part, they let you rock. Like, they really let you rock. Now I'll tell you the little story time. Not really a story time, but it was one time, I'm not gonna lie, I be texting the driver sometimes. So it was one time I made a left turn. It didn't have no sign that says no left turn from this time to this time, no left turns, period. It didn't have no sign about no left turns because I could turn. So I turned, and then I'm driving down the block and I hear like the little cop sirens. So I'm like, okay, let me pull out the way for them. So I pull the fuck over, and they pull behind me. So then in my head I'm trying to figure out, like, what the hell did I do? Like, I know I wasn't texting, I know I didn't run a light, I know I didn't make a wrong turn, like, you know what I'm saying? In my head I'm trying to figure this out. I had on my uniform. I'm trying to figure this out, like, what the fuck did I just do? Like, seriously. So then he came up to my window, and then he was like, he just said, oh, I'm sorry, have a nice day, because I had on uniform. You know, sometimes when I tell you, they respect you. Some people respect you, some people don't. Like, when it comes to, like, the whole NYPD and stuff like that. But the whole time, I'm trying to figure out, like, what the fuck did I do? Like, I don't know if he just was trying to bother me and just trying to, you know, because that's what they do. Cops do that. Let's be real. Cops do that. They just fucking bother you. So I don't know if they was just trying to bother me or what they were trying to do, but I'm just like, what the hell did I do? Like, seriously. But whatever. So the next perk, you get discounts. You get, like, first responder discounts. I just recently got a discount on T-Mobile because they now have a first responder discount, and I mean, it only took like $45 off my bill, but hey, it's $45. I could do something else with that $45. And you also get like perks at work or plum benefits. I don't know, I mean, probably other jobs have that, but excuse me, that's just something that I was offered at my job for, like, being an EMT. And sometimes you can park in places that you shouldn't be parked. Like, you can park in, like, doctor spots, but like I said, it depends on the traffic police at that point. Some of them respect you and they be like, okay, this is an EMT. Even if you don't have EMT plates, you could put, like, your patch or something in your window, and they'll respect that. Like, once they see that it's something EMS related and they see you know, you have something representing that you work for EMS, they'll respect that and they'll leave you. But some of them will give you that $95 ticket. Like, they don't give a fuck. They just want their quota, and that's that. So I got a couple tickets. I'm not gonna lie, last year I got 3 tickets for being parked in the doctor spot. It's like a hit and miss. Sometimes I don't get tickets, sometimes I do. And I got 3 tickets last year, which was $95. So that wasn't cool, but I mean, whatever. So you do get some perks. You do. I mean, it's not that much, but you get a little bit of perks. You know what I'm saying? And let's get into the pay rate. When I tell you, every time people, I'm not one of those people that's like, when people ask me like how much I get paid, I'm not one of those that's like, I don't want to tell you my business. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm gonna tell you how much I get paid. If you want to know down to the cent, I will tell you. Like, I really don't care. But a lot of people always ask me that. It's either they start off like, oh, like, if they be like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm an EMT. And it's like, oh, damn, you got money or something. And it's like, money? Soldier Boy voice, like, money? Seriously. Not seriously. But it's like, right. But let's break it down into different categories. I should have told y'all this in the beginning, but I could break it down now. It's whatever. So I'm gonna break it down from like the least pay to the highest pay. Well, not necessarily, because it kind of varies. So I'm gonna just try to break it down as best as I can. So you have transport. Let's see this. So you have transport, and then you have 911 with private companies. This is transport private company, 911 private company, and then the city, let's do this. The city, that's 911 overall. Okay, they don't have transport, they just have 911. So transport, here we are. Transport with private company, it's like you take people from hospital to hospital, house to hospital, nursing home to hospital, hospital to nursing home to dialysis, house to dialysis, dialysis to house, dialysis to nursing home, dialysis to hospital. It depends. Like, that's pretty much transport. You're not really getting the, I mean, you can in a sense, but for the most part you're not really getting the 911 calls where you go for like gunshots and you go for stabs and you go for this and you go for that. If you do get some kind of calls like that, it's like say it's like an area, let's just throw it out there, the Jews, they will call, most of the private companies are owned by Jews. So the Jews will pretty much call the private companies, because those private companies that do transport, they'll take you from your house to a hospital that's 2 hours away, 3 hours away, an hour and a half away. It does not matter. So they will call the private company to go to whatever hospital they want to go to, pretty much. So those private companies that do transport, most of them, they have pretty much minimum wage pay, which is in New York is $15. Depending on your experience and depending on that's it pretty much. Depending on your experience, you can get paid. Mind you, we're talking about EMT, the basic EMT, not paramedic, just the basic EMT. So you pretty much can get like $2 more or whatever the case is, but for the most part it's $15 an hour. Those private companies, some, I know mine personally, we did not have a 401k. The health insurance, we pretty much had to pay for it. No pension, no union, nothing. You pretty much just getting paid, and if you want to pay for health insurance, you pay for health insurance. I did have the option to do like Aflac, but you pay for Aflac as well. If you don't know what Aflac is, I don't really know what it is either. Aflac is pretty much like a health insurance type of life insurance type of thing. It depends on what you signed up for, but to be honest, I was like 18, so when they just be telling me like, oh, sign up for this, or they be trying to explain stuff to me, I honestly just be like, okay, sign me up. Like, I don't really be knowing what it is. It's just like, oh, coverage, and it's like, okay, sign me up. So that's pretty much how it was. So that's the private transport companies. Okay, so my side, I'm gonna get to some other companies. So my company, you also had like a 911 side where initially you made $3 more than what you would do for just transport. So say it's $15, you initially made $18 for doing 911. But then when minimum wage went up, so minimum wage was, I think it was like $12, I think. Yeah, I think it was like $12. When it went up to $15, they took away $1 from like the whole differential from transport to 911. So then it was $17. So it's still the same benefits where you could do Aflac or you could pay for your health insurance, but still no 401k, still no pension, still none of that extra stuff. So that's my company. So I don't know how other transport private companies was, but that was that. So then you have the hospitals, private hospitals. So any private hospital, they're paying you at least $20, whether you're doing transport or whether you're doing transport or whether you're doing 911. So it was a couple hospitals that had the whole transport and 911 side, but their transport was more so like hospital to hospital. It wasn't really like hospital to nursing home or hospital to dialysis or hospital to what else? I don't know, I think I mentioned everything. But it pretty much was, for the most part, it was like hospital to hospital. They didn't really do the whole nursing home thing. But they get paid at least $20. Some is 20, some is 22, some is 24. It really depends on the company. And some hospitals, private hospitals, they have like unions. They have 401ks, they have like pensions, depending on if you're like full-time though. If you're like per diem, where you pretty much pick up like once a week or like 4 times a month, then you probably won't get like the whole health insurance, 401k, pension type of thing and union, but you can get paid enough. Like, you get paid at least $20. I mean, that's still kind of borderline of really, you know, living in New York, but it's something. You know what I'm saying? It's more than minimum wage, I can tell you that. So that's that. So we took care of the private transports, the private 911, and then the private hospitals transports and the private hospital 911. So then now we have left the city hospital. Not city hospital. We have left the city 911 side. So the city 911, I don't really know how much they get paid. I know it ain't much. No, it's not even funny. It's really not funny. It's not funny. Seriously, let me stop laughing. So I think they start off with like 32,000 or 38,000 a year. I know it's not 40,000, but the plus about them is they have a union. They have 401k. They could retire in 25 years. They have a pension. That's 4 things right there. So you may not make that much throughout the week, but the benefits got you covered. You know what I'm saying? And you can retire in 25 years. So that's a plus right there. That is a plus, but it's like you low-key gotta struggle just for those benefits, or it's like you save money on the like health insurance and stuff. Because I'm not gonna lie, while I was working at the other job, like the private company, my health insurance was like $300 a month. So for a city employee, they're not paying for health insurance. They may not be making that much, but they not paying for health insurance. Like, you know what I'm saying? And New York is so dumb with, like, as soon as you could be $1 out of the bracket, now you don't qualify for health insurance, like free health insurance. So whatever. But so you get those benefits with the fire department. That's the city 911. So yeah, that's the city 911. So that's good, but the pay is kind of low. It's the lowest city paying job, I believe. So, but I'm not gonna lie, they are trying to fight for same pay as NYPD. I hope that they get it. And that's pretty much the whole thing about different types of EMS. Oh, and you can do dispatch. I didn't even mention dispatch. You can also take your EMS certification and do dispatch. That's pretty much, you're the one telling them, you're the one answering the 911 calls, or you're the one telling the crews to go wherever the case is. They get paid more than... I do not understand why they get paid more than the people that's outside working. Like, the people that's actually on the street putting their life at so much risk, it's getting paid less than the people that's calling and telling them, oh, go here or go there, or talking to the people that's calling up. Like, I don't get that, but whatever. So I think that's, for the most part, that's enough information for you to decide if you want to do EMS or not. But me personally, do I recommend it? I recommend it if you're not trying to stay in EMS for the rest of your life, depending on where you live. I know I think I ran out of space in my camera, but I know in, damn, what was I even trying to say? Huh? Damn, I don't even know what I was trying to say. Oh, I still don't know what I was trying to say. Do I recommend? That's what I said. Okay, so I said, I was talking about not staying in EMS for the rest of your life. As an EMT, do not stay as an EMT for the rest of your life, because I know in New York, you literally cannot survive. Unless you're doing mad overtime and you have 2 jobs, you cannot survive in EMS and live comfortably. Unless you have like a side business or a side hustle, being an EMT for the rest of your life is not gonna work. Like, yes, you can retire in 25 years, but how much can you really make in 25 years? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna be struggling for that 25 years unless you have a whole nother side job or a whole nother hustle or something like on the side. Like, so me, I feel like this is just like a stepping stone. You just use this to move up. When you go to, you can take your EMS, your EMT certification, and you can be a paramedic. Paramedics, they make a little bit more. I'm not really too sure about paramedics because, of course, I am not a paramedic. So, you know, you can level up and be a paramedic. I mean, I do know a lot of paramedics that work multiple jobs. So, I don't know if is still going to be comfortable if you only have one job? I do not know, but yes. And in a fire department, that's the city job as well, you can get into the fire department as a firefighter easier than being like a regular civilian, because once you're in the fire department as an EMT, you pretty much can take a promotion. Whether you get a 75 or a 76 on a test, you will pretty much be chosen in front of the civilian that got 100 on the test. If you in New York, you know what test I'm talking about, the firefighter test. So, you know, you can become a firefighter easier. You can move all around the fire department once you're becoming EMT with them. So just use that as a stepping stone. You also can use that as a stepping stone to do like ED tech, emergency department technician. You're pretty much in a hospital taking vitals, finger sticks, drawing blood. It depends on which hospital as well, but we could get into that another time because I don't work EMS anymore. I actually recently just resigned from my job because, you know, your girl got that other thing that she want to do, and EMS ain't doing it for me no more. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I love it. I loved EMS. I love the 911 portion, to be honest, because I'm more of a hands-on type of person. Like, I love the gory. I don't want it to sound like I like seeing people hurt, but like when you get like those interesting calls where you seeing like the everything, like when you see everything, I'm into like that stuff. Like, I'm more of a hands-on type of person. I didn't really get that much of like the gunshots, the stabs. Like, it wasn't like an everyday thing. Like, you don't get it every day. You don't get it often. Sometimes you just get somebody with abdominal pain. You just get people with like, it may be little problems to me, but it's probably big problems to them. You get people with problems like that, like, oh, my stomach hurts, or oh, like I have diarrhea, or oh, I've been vomiting, or oh, I have a headache, or oh, I feel heart palpitations. Like, you get stuff like that for the most part. But every day you're not getting gunshots, you're not getting stabs, you're not getting that. Like, I'm into that type of stuff, but I'm not into getting cursed out, and I'm not into risking my life for like minimum wage. Like, I need to be able to live comfortably. You know what I'm saying? I need to be financially stable. You know what I'm saying? So yes, it's like good to help people, but you can't forget about the fact that you gotta help yourself. Like, you gotta be able to feed yourself, you gotta be able to shelter yourself, you gotta be able to clothe yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to take care of yourself. So even if you wanna like, oh, I wanna help people, or oh, I love helping people, you can't forget, like, this job is not gonna pay. You know what I'm saying? This job is not gonna pay you right. Like, it's nice that you wanna help people, but this ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Especially in New York. Like, I can't really speak on other states because I don't know how much they pay. Like, even some upstates in New York, the minimum wage is different. In New York City, let me underline that. In New York City, NYC, period. That's where I live. I don't know about upstate, Buffalo, New York, or whatever, but I'm pretty sure the minimum wage is different. It's lower. Cost of living is probably cheaper, but it's probably not that much cheaper. So it depends on where you live and how much the EMTs around you make, or what's the benefits that you got over there. You have to look into that for like your jurisdiction. But as for me, EMS is not going to do it for me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really want to be a paramedic. Like, I want to go further than that. I actually want to be a pharmacist. So staying at EMS, it wasn't really doing it for me, like, for my ultimate goal. Like, you know what I'm saying? The schedule is more flexible than like a regular 9 to 5, because you could get like 4 10-hour shifts, you could get 3 13-hour shifts, you can get, that's pretty much it, unless you're doing like a 9 to 5 type of job. It's those 3 type of shifts, like an 8, a 10, and a 13, if you want to be full-time to make it 40 hours. And EMS, one thing about EMS is, no matter how, sorry, what I was saying. Oh, no matter what time you get off, no matter what time you're scheduled to get off, you're not getting off in the time that you're supposed to get off. I mean, sometimes you might get lucky and get off on time, but for the most part, you get the 10-2, which is like you could go back to your base. You get that at, all right, if I work from 9 to 5, at 5 o'clock is when they're gonna tell me, oh, you can go home. Sometimes 2 minutes before 5 o'clock, they want to give you a job. A job as in, okay, take it over to this place for abdominal pain, or take it over to this place for this. Then you're not getting home till like 10 p.m. at that point. I'm dragging it, but you be like 2 hours more than what you would have if you would have got off one time. But it's no guarantee that you're getting off on time. Let me just put it that way. But I think that's all I really have for right now. If you have like any questions about EMTs, EMS, or anything, you can like comment down below and I will reply, or you can DM me on Instagram, I'll reply. But for the most part, that is all I have, and thank you guys for watching. If you want to be an EMT, I wish you the best. If not, I still wish you the best. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload a new video. Thank you. Bye guys.